All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 again because a lot of people sent me screenshots of what we're about to go over, which is essentially this massive news of them updating their code of conduct on their Steam forums recently after the whole revelation of the rumor of the gayness in Saudi Arabia, all that stuff. You guys already know we've covered many videos on it. But they have just recently changed their code of conduct, and people are taking this as confirmation that the studio is going to double down on gay and going to make everything rainbow flag waving kind of nonsense. And I got to tell you guys, while I understand the scared nature of it, I think that's a little bit ridiculous. Quite frankly, the way I view this is as such. I think that what's happening here, it's a developer that is not used to getting backlash, because I don't think they are, to be honest with you. They're not used to getting backlash of this magnitude, right? And now all of a sudden they're trying to panic and they're trying to find a way to quell the storm that is currently happening on their Steam forums. I guarantee you, if you go to their Steam forums right now, it is nothing but a clusterfuck of people asking them about gay, 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 right? And I totally get it. I totally get it. And you have every right to ask questions. But I guarantee you the trolls came out hard on Steam and probably forced this change to happen. And while I don't agree with this change overall, and I do think it makes it look a little bit sus, overall, I think it's them not knowing how to handle actual backlash. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Now, we have a post here from, I can't say his name, Playon. I have no idea. All I know is he's a developer over at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You can see by the yellow mark that says developer in this screenshot. And it says code of conduct. Hear ye, ladies and gents, a new code of conduct is here. He says, we or she, whatever, we are grateful for the vibrant and passionate discussions that take place here. Your love for this game and its immersive world has forged a unique and thriving community. To ensure that our forums remain a welcoming place for all, we are introducing a new set of community rules designed to maintain smooth moderation and foster meaningful, respectful discussions. We get it. This is a PEGI 18 game, and a colorful language is part of the vibe. Occasionally, swearing is fine, but keep it reasonable. Excessive profanity, bigotry, sexism, racism, hate speech, sexual harassment, or threats will not be tolerated. So again, a lot of people are looking at this last part right here about the hate speech, racism, sexism, all that stuff, and bigotry. And they're basically trying to use that as a way of saying the developers have gone woke, right? Even though they have the same exact code of conduct as basically every other developer out there, even some of the non-woke ones, like you could look at Saber Interactive, same exact thing. They have this code of conduct for a reason, and it's because it's honestly to protect themselves over anything else, because then people can't say, well, look what happens on their Steam forums. Look what they allow their customer base to get away with and do. I think what's happening here, like I said earlier in the video, is that they are truly panicking. I think this developer is truly panicking, and they are trying to quell the storm. All you got to do is look at what the developers said on a video about Asmongold and Critical Drinker, where all it takes is for them to cover something for a lot of these studios to get fearful and scared of what happens when that particular person covers something in a negative light. And I feel like this is what's happening here. Again, I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just trying to understand the situation. Although this last little bit here obviously is extremely sus. Bigotry, sexism, racism, and everything that we always talk about is clearly just a way to try to shield certain people from criticism. And I can't stay away from that either. So look, we got some more screenshots here. Let me make it a little bit smaller so you guys can see it. So let's look at it from number one. Stay on topic. Discussion should focus on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 or related topics. I agree. Whether you're debating topics, sharing gameplay stories, or discussing medieval history, let's keep it relevant to our world. Nothing wrong with that. I agree with that. Respect others. Treat everyone with dignity and respect. Harassment, personal attacks, hate speech, and inflammatory behavior are strictly forbidden. Okay. I mean, that could go across the board in multiple different ways. No political or religious debates. While our game may explore historical themes, this forum is not the place for modern political or religious discussions. I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with that because it's kind of like when you're at the dinner table with your family, the two things you don't talk about is politics and religion, because people become tribalism nonsense when you talk about those two things. So I can understand why you would want to remove discussions about those two things in your forums, and at least you included both and not just one or the other. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with that. No spoilers without warning. If you're discussing, well, okay, that's fine. We already know that. Keep it clean. Avoid profanity, not safe for work content or anything that okay, we already know that. No spam or self promotion. Posting irrelevant, repetitive, or self promotional content. We already know that. Report rather than retaliate. If you see content that violates these rules, report it instead of engaging. Let the moderators handle the situation. Okay. Abide by Steam's community guidelines. That's pretty much obvious at this point. So now we have here. Now, this is where everybody is losing their mind. And I understand. I totally get it. I'm not going to say that people shouldn't have the right to lose their mind over this, because pattern recognition shows us that when developers start doing this, it's not exactly a good thing, right? It's not exactly a good thing. So their ideology now is they have a zero tolerance for discrimination. And here's the discrimination that they're talking about. You got racism, which is prejudice or hostility based on race or ethnicity. Sexism, discrimination or hostility based on gender or sex. Homophobia, transphobia, hatred or prejudice directed at LGBTQ individuals. Ableism, mocking or belittling individuals with disabilities. Ageism, discrimination or prejudice based on someone's age. Religious discrimination, targeting individuals for their faith or lack thereof, including but not limited to Islamophobia or anti-Semitism. Classism, judging others based on their social or economic status. Colorism, bias or prejudice based on skin tone. Body shaming, sizeism, mocking someone's body shape or size. Any post, comments, or behavior perpetuating these harmful ideologies will be removed, and offenders will face swift action. So what a lot of people are going to see and think about when they see something like this or a list like this is they're going to be like, wow, this developer has absolutely gone woke, right? And I can't blame you for thinking that. I can't. The only thing I can tell you is that this developer has showcased a not opposite ideology, but a lot more of a based ideology all the way up until recently. Now, I don't know if this developer that is showcased here in this picture is a actual developer or if they're a community manager, right? Because I feel like they would probably have the same title regardless, just to showcase that they work at the company, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure how Steam works. I don't know if there's a different title for community manager versus developer, or if they're all labeled as developers. But ultimately, I feel like what's happening here is that, again, the community managers that work to manage this Steam page are probably doing this to quell the storm and have an excuse to ban people that are constantly asking about gay, this, gay, that, gay, whatever. And while that's not cool, I also can understand the level of panic that's happening here because they are not used to it. But it's not an excuse to start enforcing rules that seem to be based in ideologies that support something that you say you're not for in your videos and whatnot like that. Now, we have other posts here. No hate speech or harmful ideologies says we stand against all forms of hate speech and dangerous ideologies. This includes white supremacy, advocacy of racial superiority or supremacy theories, neo-Nazism, promotion or support of Nazi-related symbols, beliefs, or ideologies, encouragement of violence, posts that glorify, incite, or encourage harm towards individuals or groups, harassment, repeated or targeted attacks, threats, or intimidation, glorification of harmful behavior, including but not limited to self-harm, offing yourself in abuse, maintain civility in debate. This is a community for gaming, not political grandstanding or modern ideological debates. Civil disagreements are welcome, but respect must always prevail. If conversations evolve into personal attacks or hostility, they will be moderated accordingly. So, again, what it seems to me is that when I see rules like this at the top and rules like what we just saw here, it seems to me that you're not going to enforce them evenly amongst people